Hi guys, I am Jaya Krishna. Today I am going to show you function point analysis. Right? In order to calculate function point analysis for a project, we need to find or we need to identify what kind of functions involved in the project. So what a function can do, the function takes some kind of input and it processes those input and will provide output, right? This process is done by the function, right? So how to identify different types of functions in the project? To identify the different types of functions in the project, we need to go for or we need to see SRS document. The SRS document contains different types of requirements which are specified by the user. So from whatever the requirements which are specified by the user, from those requirements we will identify different kinds of requirements, different kinds of functions. So the main use of function point analysis is to estimate or finding the cost and effect of the project. So if you find cost and effect of the project, we can easily say whether the developing project is profit or loss in the initial phase itself. If you didn't find or estimate the cost of the project, what will happen? The company may goes to a loss, right? So before developing starts, we will find the estimate cost and effort of the project, right? So the function point analysis contains different types of functions which are involved in the project. Based on the functions, we are calculating the cost of the project. So before this method, we have another method called LOC, lines of code, right? So actually LOC is one kind of method to estimate cost of the project, but there are some drawbacks in LOC method, so we are moving for function point analysis. Before that one, what are the drawbacks existing from LOC? The drawbacks which are existing in the LOC method are, actually in the LOC we are finding, based on the number of lines of code, we are finding the effort of the project, right? So for example, if we develop a project in C language, we will get some 100 lines of code, means it is having some effort. If we develop the same project in Java, we will get some kind of effort. If we develop the same kind of project in C++, we will get some lines of code and we will get some kind of effort, right? Means in LOC method, for different languages, having different effort, and also we are unable to find exact lines of code in the initial phase itself, right? Actually we will find out exact lines of code after completion of coding phase, but we will just find out approximate lines of code only. So because of these drawbacks, we are moving for function point analysis, right? What a function actually do? The function will retrieve some kind of input and will process it and provides some kind of output, right? Generally in function point analysis, we will calculate function point effort based on functions which are interacting with the database. Means the functions which are interacting with the database, for those functions only we are calculating the function point analysis. So we have to identify the functions which are interacting with the database. Generally different functions having different properties, like EI, EO, EQ, ILF, EAF. Generally the functions having EI properties, EI, EO, EQ, these three are called transaction function types. These three are called transaction function types, and these two are called data function types. Data function types, right? Why we are calling these are data function types? These two are. Why we are calling these two are data function types? EI, EO, EQ are called as transaction functions, right? These are the properties of functions, right? So transaction function types Y means generally EI means external input, EO means external output, EQ means external inquiry, ILF means internal logical file, EAF means external interface file, right? So these three are called transaction function types and these two are called data function types. Generally, what a function do? This function will do, there is a function, some function, this function will perform some data into the database. This operation is called transaction, right? This transaction means it is providing some input to the database, that is called external input, that is called external input, and this function will retrieve some kind of database. That function is called EO, that process is called EO, and this, if you provide input and it will give some output, is called external input, and if it directly provides some kind of output, it is called EQ, right? It is called EQ. It is called EQ means by generally the function having these three characters EI, EQ, EO means these are providing some transaction, right? So these three are called, we are calling it as transaction functions, and these two are called data functions, right? Why does it? ILF means internal logical file. Whatever the tables we are using in our project, those are all comes under ILF, and the third party databases, those are all comes under EAF. For example, let us say which type of files are comes under EAF, right? Suppose this is our database, we are performing some kind of register operation. Register fields are some name, password, some other number, right? Suppose we are using some third party database other number, right? If you develop this project by entering Aadhaar number, what this, after clicking on submit button, what it will happen? It has to retrieve the data from the third party database, right? It has to retrieve from third party database, means actually we are not storing this data in our project, means we have to retrieve it from some third party database, means actually this database is maintained by some central government, right? So we have to access that data. So with respect to our system, this system acts as a EAF. With respect to this system, this table as a ILF. So for a function, so these two are storing some kind of data, right? So because of this one, we are calling this as data function types, right? Actually for a function we have these type of properties. So to calculate function point or function type for a project, we have to understand what is meant by FTR, FTR and DETs. FTR means file type reference, DET means data element types. These two are used for transaction function types, and for ILF and EAF we will use RET and DETs, RETs and DETs, RETs and DETs. What is meant by RET? Record element type. DET means data element type. RET means record element type and DET means data element type. Record element type means for a table. Actually RET and DET are used for data function types. Means RET contains if a table having unique mail ID, means that field, if the field is distributed in multiple, if the same field is distributed in multiple tables, how many tables that field is distributed, that is called RET. DET means the total number of data elements in the table. Here RET means DET means total number of data element types. FTR means total number of files it is accessing, right? So FTR and DET are used for calculating EI, EO and EQ. ILF, EAF means RETs and DETs, right? What is meant by external input? What is meant by external input? Whatever the data we are getting from external side, that kind of data is called external input, right? And what is meant by EO? EO means external output. If you get the output after giving some kind of input, it is called as external output. Means if you are providing some kind of input and this input should be stored in somewhere and it process it and it will provide some output from the database, that is called external output. What is meant by external inquiry? Without providing input, if the page retrieves or if the button retrieves the data from the database, that is called external inquiry, right? I had explained ILF and EAF. So let us consider one example. Generally, in order to calculate function point for a project, we have to understand function point FP equal to VFP into VAF. VF means unadjusted function point. VF means unadjusted function point. VAF means variable adjustment factor. VAF means variable adjustment factor. Let us consider some kind of example. So VAF contains 14 factors, right? Value adjustment factor. Value adjustment factor is calculated based on 14 factors. VAF contains 14 factors. What are those 14 factors? If we want to add some extra features, means we are putting some more effort, right? So if you want to put more effort, we need to write some extra code. So for that one, we have to consider these extra 14 factors. For example, security. Security is one kind of extra factor, right? So if you want to increase the security for your project, we need to put more effort, right? So for that one also, we have to calculate the function point, right? And how we are finding unadjustment function point? Based on the sum of the values of EI, EO, EQ, ILF and AF priorities, right? So generally we have to identify what are the EI, EO and EQ. Let us say this as a one website, right? Let us open. Here we have home button, the services button, admin button, restaurant button, user login button, register button, right? So for what kind of functions we are calculating function point? the functions which are interacting with the database. For those functions only we are calculating function point analysis. Here if I click on home button, whether it is interacting with the database, no, so we are not calculating for this function. And next, services button, no, we are not calculating the function point for this services button. Next, admin login button, it is interacting with the database, no. Restaurant, no. User login, no, it is not interacting. Register button, no, it is not interacting. Right? So we have to calculate function point analysis for the function which are interacting with the database. So let us say this is one kind of feature, right? Check here for rooms available or not. So for this kind of function, when I click on enter or when I select room type, and if I give some data, some 2, month 3 and some year 2017, date 4, month some 3, year 2007. If you click on save, here what we are doing, we are giving some input to the system, right? Means it is external input. For external input, what we have to find? We have to find FTRs and DETs, right? What are DETs? DETs represents total number of data element types. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7 DETs, and FTR means how many files it is accessing. For to check this kind of function, how many files it is accessing? How many files it is accessing? Let us see from the table, right? So if you click on check, it is showing rooms available, you have to register, right? What it does, this function checks in the database and it will show rooms available or not, right? Means here DETs are 7, EI for EI DETs are 7, FTR means from ID generate table only it is accessing some data. So here FTR is 1, DETs are 7. See, for user page, external input fields are room type, DD month year, DD month year. Files are droom and ID generate. So FTR is total number of fields, DETs are 2. Means this function is accessing two kinds of tables. One is room number for this ID generate table and another table is droom table. So for this one FTR is 2, right? If you have rooms are available, then what you have to do? You have to go for register, right? If you click on register, some Krishna, some JK, some JJK, KRISH@gmail.com, some password, some address, right? Here what we are doing for register function, we are giving some kind of external input, means we are giving from outside to system, right? It is nothing but external. For this register, EA is, for EA what we have to calculate? We have to calculate FTR and DETs, right? DETs are 3, 6, 8. So DETs are 8, and how many tables we are accessing? We are accessing, see, let us see, is there any Krishna@gmail.com? No, right? So when we click on submit button, if you click on submit button, it is showing that you had successfully registered. Is it a external output? No. Why? Because it is not getting any kind of data from the database, so it is not used. So check once. Whatever the data you have entered, that is entered here, right? Krishna@gmail.com. So it is accessing only one type. So FTR is 1, DETs are 2. So for register button, EI fields are first name, second name, email, password, re-enter password, this. So address, right? So FTR is, sorry, this is entirely wrong. So this field I have to correct. This is DET and this is FTR. Check once. So FTR DETs are 2. FTR is 2 means it is accessing P-login and identification. P-login, see here, data is entering Krishna. So FTR is 2. So for register button there is no EO, right? Next, user login. For user login we have EA, right? Krish@gmail.com, some password. For this function we have to calculate whether it is EA. EA means EA, right? So EA, for this one, user login EA fields are email, password. So DETs are 2, files are FTRs are 1. So it is accessing only one kind of table. So FTRs 1. So for EA, FTR 1. If you click on login, it is showing hi, welcome Krishna JK, right? Can you say it is EO or EQ? Here it is EO. Why means in the last page what you have entered some input, right? After that input only it is getting some Krishna GJK. Krishna GJK are from where we are getting? From P-login table we are getting first name and second name. So it is EO. It is EO, right? So for user page EO are fields first name, second name. So DETs are 2, files are 1. So for the same page we have again EA. So this is the page. This user page contains EO and EA, right? EO and EA. So how many EAs are there? There is EA for user page and DETs are 7, FTRs are 2, right? I think we have already calculated. So for user page EAs are 7, files are 2. So FTR DETs are 7, FTRs are 2. So next page, what this page contains? This page contains EO. So this page contains, this is EO. Why means in the previous page we have entered check-in date and check-out date. It is providing for those dates what are the rooms available, right? It is, this page is from database, right? This is EO. This is EO. And we want to enter some kind of credit details and we have to select some database, right? So here this button acts as a EO and EA, right? While submitting it acts as a EA, while retrieving it acts as a EO, right? So for this page room selection page, fields room number are DETs 1, FTRs 1, right? It acts as a field EA, room number, credit card number. So DETs are 3, files are ID generated, right? So after clicking on it, it is showing details are successful, right? It is EO. Why? Because in the previous page we have entered, right? So how many DETs we have? We have 3, 6, 7. So total DETs are 7, total deities are 7, and how many FTRs? From identification ID generate table only we will retrieve. So FTRs are 1. Like that we have to write for all. Let us show. I will directly. So for cancelling, we have to give some username, room number, customer ID. So for cancel function, we have EA, right? FTRs deities are 3, FTRs 1, right? So for example, where we are showing EQ, external inquiry, right? External inquiry means without giving input, we are getting output, right? So if you click on details page, what we are getting? We are getting some kind of details, right? This process is called EQ. Means we didn't entered any input for this thing. No, we didn't enter anything. So by just clicking on submit button, it will retrieve some data from the database. So this is called EQ, right? So so we have to calculate for this one EQ. For EQ, FTRs are 7, deities are 7, FTRs are how many FTRs? Only 1 FTR, right? So for that one we have to calculate. Next, for logout. For logout, if you click on login, it is updated in somewhere, right? So for this one also we have to write logout field status p login. So FTRs and it. Next, we have to calculate for admin login. For admin login, we have EA, right? We have EA. So EAs are for admin login. EA is deities are 2, FTRs are 1, right? Here check, is there any EVO or EQ? No EVOs, no EQs, right? If you click on check button, it is showing some kind of data. This data is EVO or EQ. This data is EQ. Why? Because we didn't give any enter manually, but if you click on just a small button, it is showing name, customer ID, room number, cost of the room. So this data is written from database, right? So it is EQ. So deities are 4, FTRs are 1. If you click on booking after, it is showing these details, right? So it is EQ or EO? It is also EQ. Why? Because we didn't enter any data. So deities are 3, FTRs are 1. So for the same, we have to calculate logout function, right? And also we forgot to find forget password function. For forget password function, we have EA. For example, let us say I have to give Krishna@gmail.com identification Krishna new password, so mobile number, right? If you click on change, it is showing you had successfully changed the password. Now it is EVO or EQ? Nothing. No EVO or EQ existed here. Just it is a normal HTML page, right? So no EVO. So no EVO, no EQ, right? Like that, we have to calculate for our entire project. We have to calculate what are the EVOs, EQs, and EAs, and also we have to calculate the function points for what data function types, right? So for which data function types are ILFs and EAFs, right? ILFs means internal logical files, right? What are the internal logical files for this project? Admin login, droom, identification, ID generate, p login. So we have to identify for this one what are RETs and what are DETs, right? So for admin login, we have to identify RETs and DETs. So RET, how can we calculate? If any field name is sharing with another table, then we say that RET. Total number of fields is DETs. Let us say for this name, A pass status, Is any table contains a name, a pass, status? No, right? So defaultly RET is 1, defaultly RET 1, DETs are total number of fields, right? So DETs are 3, and for DROOM RETs are, can anyone say? RETs are 2, DETs are total number of fields 2. Why RET is 2 means here room number. This room number is again we have in somewhere room number. So we have taken RET2. For identification table we have to take RET1, DET2. For plugin RET3. Why? Because the mail function is sharing with 3 more tables, identification table and ID generate table. So we have to set this mail field. So here RET is 3, DET is some mail. Why means, why we have considered only RET here but not here means, first whenever we entered some kind of data, those data first entered in this plugin table. After that only that data will be distributed some subtables, right? So we have to consider the main table RET. So RET is 3 and DETs are some 9. We have to write all those. So for admin fields are username, password, admin. So FTR we have to calculate FTRs, and for booking after, these are all EQs, right? I have explained already. So I have explained data function, right? Data function admin login fields are a name, a pop-up, status, and DETs are 3. So RET is 1. DROOM, so RET is 1, DET is 2. plugin I have explained why RET is 3, right? Why RET is 3 and why DETs are 8. And for identification table email, EQ, and for ID generate why RETs are 2 I had explained, and DETs are 10, right? So after finding these things we have to find unadjustment factor, right? So in order to calculate unadjustment factor we have to see some predefined tables. What are those predefined tables? Means these are the predefined tables. These are the predefined tables. For EA table, for EO and EQ, for value for the entire thing, right? So for EA table we require, what I said, we require FTRs and we require DETs, right? For our project, for register button, EAs are, DETs are 8 and FTRs are 2, right? DETs are 8 and FTRs are 2. So DETs are 8 here, somewhere here, it is between 5 to 15, and FTRs are 2. So these EA priorities, for register EA priority is average, right? So for average again we have to calculate an adjustment function, right? For average EA is 4, EA is 4, EA is 4, that I have written. For register button FTRs are 2, DETs are 8, that complexity is average. So for average the entire adjustment function point is 4, right? Next, for user login, FTRs are 2, DETs are 2, FTRs are 1. So for that one we have to calculate DETs are 2, FTRs are 1. So its priority means its complexity is low, and it's if it is a low and it's a input, it is 3, right? It is 3. So I have written like this one. For the entire project we have to write. So after that one, for transaction function types, I got 47. So for data type function types we have another predefined table like this, RETs and DETs. I left count. So we have to calculate, right? So for admin login page we are getting RET is 1, DT is 3, right? The complexity factor finding RET is 1, DT is 3, so it is low. So for the low, ILF is 7, total adjustment function point, right? So there are no AFs, we have to consider it as 0, right? So if you have one RET and DT is 2, it is low. So for all in our project, for all the things it is low. So total is 7. For every table the unadjustment function point is 7, so total is 35. Finally total unadjustment function point is sum of transaction function point EFP plus and data function type EFP, right? So 47 plus 35, 92. For our project entirely there are 92 unadjustment function points, right? And also in the formula, what formula is, what is the formula? Function point at p equal to EFP into EFP into EF, value adjustment factor, right? Up to now we had calculated EFP, right? So next thing is unadjustment function point. How to find unadjustment function point means based on these 14 characteristics. Right? So for every characteristics we have predefined things like priorities 0 to 5. 0 means not present, no influence. 1 means instantial influence, moderate influence, average influence, significant influence, strong influence throughout the project, right? Let us consider some data communication, means whether from one page to another page data communication is important or not, we have to give some value. So for our project we require, right? So priority is highly strong influence. And next, distributed data processing. If the data which are present in our system is required to used by some other third party system, so for that one we have to refer it. So for this one I will give priority some 3, like that one we have to calculate for the entire project. So finally after calculation of this project, so total I got the values are for this one 4, I will give for this one 1, for this one 3, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, for this all 0, and finally it has to provide some easily modified, right? So I have provided some 2, so total is some 16, right? So these are nothing but degree of influence, right? So VF can be find out by using, how we will find out VF? VF is equal to 0.65 plus 0.01 into DA, right? DA. What is DA? These are 14 factors, right? Some of these 14 factors, right? Here what we got? DA equal to 16, right? If we calculate those values, we will get 0. We get 0.65 plus 0.01 into 16. What is the final value we will get? 0.8, right? This is the value adjustment factor. right? Final value function point fp equal to AF into value adjustment factor, right? What is the value we got for AF? We got 92, right? We got 92 into some 0.81. We will get some nearly 74.52. What are those? Is function point 8 function points. So this is the value we require. So for our entire project we need 74.52 function points. Generally for a project, if you want to develop one function point in Java, we require 10.6 hours. 10.6 hours. For the same function point in C, we require 13 hours. We require 13 hours. For the same C++, we require 12.4 hours. Right? So based on these values, can we find total time for completion of our project, right? We can find out or not. So 74. Suppose if we are developing the project in Java, 74.52 into 10.6 hours, right? So value is 789.92 hours. 92 hours, right? This is the time required to develop our project. So one person can complete our entire project in 789.92 hours, which is approximately 790 hours, right? 790 hours. So to complete this online hotel management project, he requires how many hours? He requires 790 hours. So one person can complete this project in 700 hours. Suppose he works per day 8 hours. In how many days he will complete? Suppose if the same person works 8 hours a day, then in how many days he will complete? Just 790 by 8, right? How much value? 98 days. So one person can complete the project in 98 days, right? This is the time required to complete the project. Suppose if you want to calculate if number of mains are increasing, the total number of persons also decrease, right? So in this way we will find out the cost of the project. Generally what we have to identify different kind of functions. What are CI, what are EO, what are EQ, what are ILFs and EAF, right? EI, EO, EQ are finding for transactions and ILF and EAF are finding for tables. So for those things we have to identify. For EI, EO, EQ we have to identify what are the deities and what are the FTRs, and for ILF and EF we have to identify what are the RETs and DETs, and after finding that we have to go for some predefined tables and we have to check the priorities. We have to check these priorities. After checking the priorities, we have to again check if it is from EI table we are calculating, we have to check low, and for the same EI value is 3. This is an adjustment function point, right? And also similarly for data function types, we have to calculate RET and DAT, and we have to go for these predefined table, and we have to find arrangement function point. At last we have calculate total arrangement function point. Generally we know function point equal to EAF into EAF, right? What are those BAF? BAF is dependent on the some extra factors. Those extra factors are comes under 14 factors. This is developer options, right? These 14 are developer options, and he will give some values, right? In our project we are getting some 16 DA. So at last we will get some 0.81, right? Some EAF is 92. EAF is 92. So we will get some 74.52 function point. Generally, if you want to develop one function point in Java, will require 10.6 hours, and for C language will require 13 hours. For C++ will require 12 hours, and for .NET we require 6 hours. Like that, we have some predefined. How these get previously based on previous experiment values we will get. So from that one, if you are developing in Java language 74.52 into 10.6, so total completion of the project is by one person in 789.9 hours, approximately 780 hours. So for example, the same person works for 8 hours, then per day 8 hours, then in how many days he will complete? In 98 days he will complete. One person can complete a project for this entire project in 98 days, right? Suppose if the number of persons are increasing, obviously number of days is decreasing. Number of days is decreasing and the person's cost is increasing, means obviously we can easily find out the cost and effect of the project. So at last what I say that by using function point analysis we can easily find out the approximately cost effort of the project, so that the company may not goes into the loss after completion of the project. This is in this way we are calculating the function point. Thanks for watching. If you have any doubts, please comment it. Thank you.